Right, welcome back, guys. This is part two. Okay, um, looking at recapping what we have already discussed earlier or previously. Okay, about how the breakdown is for undertaking UI and so on and so forth. Right. So this is the planning that you should be doing as you are undertaking before you undertake your project and make sure that you can accomplish certain tasks or certain um, what they call sprint, right? And how do you want to negotiate your task undertakings in proper without overwhelming or burning you to the extreme? Make sense? Or overburdening the staffs. Okay?
Yep,
Alright,
yep,
cool.
yep.
So with that in mind, now we have yep, now we've got all this listed down in proper, so you know precisely what to do and how to manage your sprints in proper. Okay, so yep, any questions on in regards of that? Is it too confusing? Too much?
Nope,
Pretty
nope.
clear?
Mm.
Joe, Eva, you guys are fine?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So yep, okay, let's move on to the stuff that you've already done. Okay, so first thing that you're looking at, like team. Do you have a name for your team? Can you name your team, please? Like Jess and Xuan, and Joe and Eva. So you can name your team. So say this is team something, blah blah blah. So it's easy for us to refer to.
Team
Mm.
Deshin.
Yeah, whichever, right? So you decide on what name you want to give, right, to your team. So it's easier for us to refer to. Okay.
Okay,
All right, cool.
okay.
That is that. And yeah, let's look at the task that you have already undertaken, right? So sprint one, based on your big global list, you are looking at what's it? Global concept. The previous works that you have already done, you can always put it in done. Yeah, this as well. So you can have one more, say, initial ideation or pre-production, perhaps. All right. So you can put all your list here as well. But what you can do is you can refer back to your your board, and you can pick all this information and paste it over your e-portfolio. And what you're doing now with all these screenshots and so on and so forth, right, that you are showing, right, show me a little process. So which means how do you undertake this, or how do you accomplish this? So this also will give the process an idea of how this task has been undertaken and what are the steps that you need to do in order for you to achieve this. Make sense?
Yeah.
Right?
Yep,
So
yep.
you don't need to show every single step, but the big major step. For instance, how do you start off with this? Right? Understand?
Oh,
So
Yep.
do you just draw first and then you add in the colors, and how do you see this in macro? Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so if you say macro is this big, does it show in game as this big in game screen? You get what I mean? So you have to apply
Mm-hmm.
this in the main screen. So at the moment it looks fine, it's readable, but it's too tiny,
Yeah, yeah.
right? So you have to see in the game screen. So which means if it's a mobile game, then you show it in a mobile screen, or if it's for PC, then it's PC, or console, and so on and so forth. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this is fine at the moment. It looks readable. Yep.
mhm. But sir, I'm I'm using like 60,
Sorry,
64, and 60.
can you speak?
I'm using 64 pixels. So when I export it, so it become like this small. How to make it bigger?
That's what the problem that you have to solve. So maybe you make the canvas size slightly bigger, or you bring it to. You can use this. Remember, I've already given you pixel
You
art.
can export specific size in
Yeah,
Photoshop, right?
can export specific size. So you go here and this. Go to export. Right. So you can export for web legacy and so on and so forth. Can?
Yeah.
Right. So export preferences and so on and so forth. Legacy. So how big you want and resize. You can resize it a little bit.
Okay.
Right. But make sure before you resize, you have your resolution high. So which means you're gonna go for image size resolution. You can't do it in 72. Probably to be safe, your working file should be at least 120. Okay. Okay.
Yep.
The lower the resolution
Can.
is, the more jittery it becomes. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So always increase the size, and then when you're working like building characters for pixel art and so on and so forth, make sure the resolution is high. So when you scale it, it doesn't break apart. Right? So what you can do is you can also look at the pixel art, this one, right? And you can adjust here. You can do it here as well. It's similar to Photoshop. It's free too, so you can build your character here.
So yesterday I used this one, right? And then I do halfway.
Mm-hmm.
I save and then the file gone. So I
Yeah, her
renew.
file disappeared.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It says like it got auto save, but I can't find the file like everywhere. So I just give up.
You download. Every time you finish, you download. One step, I think you should download. But anyways, it's free tool. Sometimes it's a little iffy. So Pixel Maker. Did you try this Pixel Maker and so on and so forth? It's, I think it's Pixels. Is it? Another one that I use. Remember, there's three Pixel Art. This is also another one. Okay, this one works well because our students for games design, your previous BMD seniors, alright, they were using this.
Okay.
Right, you can try this because here you can animate as well. Okay,
Oh, okay.
right. So this will be helpful as well. Can you just have to sign in. It's for free anyways, so you can just take and create pixels, and then you just export it. Done. Okay, you can save this and it will save to your account and it'll be on cloud. Okay, this is much more stronger as opposed to the others. This one I haven't tried, to be honest, but this guy works. This one really works. Yeah, Pisco.
Okay.
Right. So yeah, at the moment it looks fine. Right. Need to test on game screen. Oops. So here you can write like the description. This is what character it is. You can have like persona character. Okay, what are you looking for? She's bubbly, bubbly, she's cute. Maybe she's innocent. Yeah, this, and so on and so forth. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that would be helpful for you to always refer back. And when you're giving feedback, it's much more helpful. So what you should do is you can need to test on the game screen in order to identify what do you do the key as its clarity. Bam. Okay, so you can put this as testing game, or you can do it together in this. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
So then this is accomplished, because if you're going to do this right, so you're going to do like super clean and so on and so forth, what happens is you spend so much of time, and then when you see in game it's not working, you're going to cry. You wasted all
Yeah.
your time. Make sense?
Yep.
Right. So this is the progress. Looks better. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Cool. I think you can put this here, and you can do a test.
The green color girl haven't finished.
All right. That's fine. For now, you can just put this here, right?
Yeah.
And then you can put like another one more card. You can add up to your list where you can put like test
Okay.
characters in screen. So this task is done. So now you want to test it. So once you test and polish or optimize, you know what I mean? So polish means you can polish it and so on and so forth. So these are the takes you want to do in your your process, so that you get more clarity of how it looks and how it fits together in the game.
Okay.
Alright, so you finish these three characters, that's fine. Next is the background. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yep.
So before you do your light and shadow, this is for what? So lighting and shadow is for what? Character, environment. So character,
Yep.
lighting and shadow on what?
Okay.
You know what I mean? So is this for in game? You know what I mean?
Mm.
What is it for? So name the task in proper, so that when you refer back or when you look at your task, you go, oh, okay, that's cool. Lighting and shadow, it can be, you can mislead the directors of whoever it is or the project manager to look like, what is this specifically? So character design, almost precise, almost done.
Mm.
Okay, so you get go. You have one list of polishing. You can do that.
Okay.
Or if you still want to do this, you can still go back and complete this and put it back here.
Yeah.
Okay, can?
Okay. Can.
Right. That's good.
Cool.
Right.
Thank you.
Welcome. So UI, so what you have to do is now to see how all this kind of like fits together and see whether it works well or it reflects to the art direction that you are intending to alter or enhance for this particular game. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Always
Yep.
evaluate and see whether this one is it enough to tell how the how your art direction phases is undertaken, and does it give the audiences, or probably not the audiences alone, but your team members to follow. Okay, because the character designs that you're doing, right, so this is fine, right, but in art direction you don't need to refine it 100%, because the pixel artist or the character artist is going to do it for you. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. refine it to this level. It's fine, nah? Yeah. This is fine, but I'm saying in the future when you are being an art director for a company and so on, you give a sample. This is the level of details and so on and so forth that you envisioned in that game to undertake. So you have to follow the guide. Okay.
Okay.
Cool. So for this, uh, for the UI, you can always look at, okay, so this is the UI, the layout design. This is what you're looking at. So what are the key components that you have to look at? So always emphasize on the real estates that you want to have for the UI to be easy to navigate and so on and so forth. You prioritize components to be first not accomplished, and then moving on with any images that you're going to get from, you know, that you're going to attach as your background as a package, right, to enhance the visual aesthetics. So this one can either be from the concept or you can take it from in-game screenshots, example. You know what I mean? So whichever that suits, but it should not impede or distract the navigational or interaction to the main components, right? So if you want to have like a, if this bar is going to be super boring, perhaps you want to do a very subtle what they call board that is holding it like a chart or whatever, not right. So that one, what are the designs that you're looking at? So in terms of this design, how did you get there? Get here. So what are the designs that you're looking at? So is it going to be diagonally moving, or is it going to be um, in a very futuristic movement, or what does this mean? Make sense?
Yeah.
Yep, that is your art direction.
Yep.
Right, so when you're looking at it and you go like, oh, okay, why did you use this? So the metal pieces that you use here is indicating it is, you know, it is futuristic, plus it is very weaponized in that sense, mechanically, right? So whatever that is holding it, like a board sort of, you know, holder, right? So that one should also follow the theme. So if it's metal, so everything based on metal and futuristic sci-fi example, right? And a little bit of armory that is being added in the layout design. Make sense?
Yep.
Alright.
Yep.
So cool, huh? So as you can see, it will follow then from here to an example to the main screens. Huh? So yeah, how is the if there is any inventory system and so on and so forth, how does it going to look like, so on. So once they get an idea, the UI artist who is going to work on this will have a clear picture. This is what you intend to have. That's the art director's job and yeah, task, to inform the subordinates to undertake the project and make sure it aligns to the vision, envisioned direction that you are looking at, the look and feel. Right? They can give a little description. So from here, so you can see the color palette. You can put a color palette around here and say, hey, look, you know, this is the color palette that you're looking at, and so on and so forth. Clean? No?
Yep. 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 Yep.
Okay, can I? So color here
Can.
is what? Perspective is what?
Mm.
Cannot be perspective lah. Yeah.
Mm.
So what is it? So this is like, you just have to, because you're still learning, you're still picking up, right? So that's fine for you
Mm.
to kickstart something. So you probably look at, you know, what is this screen size, a layout, right? Layout design, example,
Yep.
right? Screen layout design. And then here color, what do you mean by color? So character design color. So this is what color palette for characters, example. But your color palette for characters, all the characters, or what is it? You know what I mean?
Yep.
For what? Right? This is screen. Okay, now it's much more clearer. Okay, item elements. What is this? Drop item elements. Do you need this? Nice to have. Perhaps. Right? So you can show. Is this in terms of its functions? Is this something that you are looking at? You need to emphasize on this, and what you need to do for this. What do you mean by item elements? Okay, all that is properly laid out so you know precisely what you want to do, what you have to undertake. Right? Can I?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So then
Yep.
you're looking once you finish the global stuff and so on and so forth. Once you package it with all these images, the final images and so on and so forth, you package it or you put it in a proper book format or PDF format, right? So you laid out a good slide and so on and so forth. Then you have a document at the end of the semester. Okay.
Mm.
Right. Any questions before I move to Jules?
No.
Nope.
Right. So Joe, can you paste your link here? Joe, Eva, can you paste your link on the general?
Yeah.
Right, cool. So just Xuan, you're fine, huh? Pretty clear? Alright. That's good.
Yep, yep, yep.
So look and feel. Joe, color variation plot. Okay, that's cool. Yeah, this is good. So this one, look and feel. You can put this as initial. So this is considered done, right? Visual library. No, Eva.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
So done means then put it under done. Okay. So again, as I mentioned before, so you can have it like like how I mentioned for uh, jazz group, right? You
Mm.
can put it like this: sprint one done, sprint one task, and then backlog. Sprint two. So you break it down. If not, it defeats the purpose.
Mm.
Yeah. So you know
Mm.
precisely what you're going to do. Like I did mention last time. So you put, how do you move this? Anyways, I don't use this notion, so you should be well versed with this, right? So put it in the one clump, like global list. This is global list. Yeah. So split one. What are you undertaking? So the P ones that you want to have, like title art. We're doing the title art here.
Mm.
Title art. This is
So,
logo.
so can you refresh? I think it's.
Sorry.
Can you refresh? I think I just allowed you access.
This is the one.
Mm.
Is it all there, Joe? You're very far, Joe.
Press on edit. Top right corner.
Oh, I have to.
Mm.
Ah, no. copy. What? Or do I have to go and do all this? Alright, so I can edit now. Okay, how do I do this? I'm not that well versed with this, so hey,
Oh, you have to scroll. It's on the right side. You can. There's more.
right,
Yeah, yeah.
add group.
Add group.
Okay,
Yeah.
so add group. So here you can have sprint one, right? So for your reference, so it will be with 7 to 8 for instance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Task, task, right? Task list or to-do list. Okay.
Mm.
So once you have that, okay, cool. So this is where you add in your applications as well. You see?
Yeah.
Okay. And here, if you can, like, can you bring this in, like, this group here? You cannot, right? I doubt
Um.
it. I doubt it. So what you should do is here you can have, like, add property. So perhaps you want to have, like, priority.
Yeah, that one.
This one, right?
Mm.
Property. How do you adjust this one? Priority. Okay. And you can have I have P1, P2 for instance. Okay.
Mm.
Or P1, whichever one, right? So now
Yeah.
you can see this much more clearer. Or is it this one? This one is it? So how do you see this? So it's and so on and so forth. You should be able to see here. Okay. So whenever when you finish this for P1, so here it should indicate it's P1. You get what I mean? You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? Do something like that. So it's easier for you to have a look at it. Yeah. So
Mm.
here, instead of having this in such, maybe you want to change it to global list. Okay. Oh, you already have actually. Yeah. So sprint one done. Okay.
Mm.
So doing, you can leave it as doing. Yeah? So you throw this and put it in, put it in, put it in, put it in. You know what I mean? So this is a task that you want to take, or you can have it as, depending on what you want to do. Check it. How do you do it? What?
What do
So
you want to
to-do
do?
list. This is to-do list. And since done. Okay. So from here you just drag and drop it in here. You know what I mean? So to do this, you can take all this and just drag it over and paste it in here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So global list must be higher lah. This is example lah. So later you adjust it. So global list will be all the other stuff that has already been added in. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Or is it too confusing? Yes, no, guys.
Yeah, yeah, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So this one
Mm.
is done. This is prior to before you start the board, or this one is just done.
It's before we start the board.
Okay. Then here you can leave it as put this under one clump, like for instance done previously. So sprint one done. So this is your undertaking within the sprint
Mm.
here. So this one you can just write there for your references. So this one
Mm-hmm.
is before the pre-production stages and so on. Make sense?
Mm.
Okay. So you can change this one. Yes. So pre-production. Accomplish. Okay. So you finish
Yeah.
this, done, pre-production done, and so on and so forth. So this will be what you refer to, and this will be the retrospective and so on and so forth. Okay, and doing. I think this list is coming here. Okay,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
so yep. Okay, let's look at what we have, what you are doing. So which one shall I look at first? This is to-do list. You haven't touched it, right?
Yeah.
This is what you're doing now, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm.
So this one you can change this to work design. Okay, logo design references.
Sketches.
So this is all your sketches.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a bit too complex. It's all over the place. See, you're going to be.
Yeah.
It's like it's not sufficient. I would say. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's too cluttered, lah.
Mm.
So perhaps you want to make the points. I'm just going to pick a few of this. Okay. That's your pause. Um, let's try and see what I can give you. I'll throw this. Bam. One. Throw this to here. is just a sample now what we can do. Right, let's see. I think the text that you're having here as a logo compared to what you had previously. This is what we have in this is origin, right?
Yeah.
So it needs to be a readable title or logo. You know what I mean? So at the moment, it's hard to read because you're gonna go like a street, cat street. So you kind of like, it's not fitting really well. So you want to emphasize on the icons and what is iconic about this, you know, this logo, right? So it needs to be more appealing. So I would say you want to adjust the big icon because this is stating the hero, right? Who you're going to play with, right? So a street cat perhaps, and maybe more aligned in different format. Whichever, just for your reference. You can be wacky, you can move things around. You put like, emphasize on a character, a single character. Make sense?
Yeah.
Street, cat street. Okay. Maybe, okay. I'm not a super, you know, superhero in this logo design. Take this and this is perhaps. Okay. Example. You can do that as well. Minimalize. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Take this also, or you can just put it under E. If the pause is really important. Sometimes it's just pointless of doing this. If it doesn't fit any purpose, so you don't need to show the pause. Don't need to show the pause. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Right?
Yeah.
So these are things that you want to look at and make sure it is simple and readable. Right? So scale can be you can do that. You see?
Mm.
example, you know,
Mm.
you can do that if you want to, depending on what kind of, you know, house the tail is looking like. Something like that.
Mm.
So it feels like it's a body. Is your fan is, I think your fan is really
Yeah, oh, yeah.
okay. Right. So end of the day, it's like a body here. You can see body of
Mm.
this cat. And it kind of like, grows bigger and so on and so forth. Okay. You see. So it sits properly. I mean, you do the cleanup lah. This is just an example, right? Maybe you want to do take this if you want to. You can have like a street cat. Yay! Sort of.
Yeah.
Okay. You can make it like that if you want to. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you want to take this A and put it up here, you can also do that. Yeah. So it needs to be much more clearer and much more easier to read. Because when you have it, like, you know, when what you have in the very beginning, when you have like what you're showing here now, I think it's a bit too much now.
Mm.
Right? So when you're reading it, it's like you can read it, but if you're looking it from this view, down like this. This and this difference. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at how it reads. Jesus. Something like that. See the difference, right? So you want to see it in the game itself, in the game screen itself. You understand? So
Mm.
put it back to the screen that you show. For instance, you are looking at this guy, the game screen. Okay, drag it here, down, place it there, and maybe you wanna erase this or whatever. Got it?
Yeah.
There would be a purpose for this, right? So why did they do in the very beginning? Why did they do this, right? So as we discussed previously in the initial ideation process and so on and so forth, right? So they're trying to put too much of information, yeah, and there's too much of information going on. It makes the readability unclear, correct?
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Because this can't be enough. We need to take this. I will share this, don't worry. Why is it not working? This. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Jaggers. Or you can take this healing brush. Where's the healing do? You all use this, right? Yes, no?
Yeah.
What's this healing brush? Huh?
Oh.
Healing, healing, healing. Ah, do this.
Mm.
This is for example. Huh? Just to get a rough idea. Yeah? This is just a sample.
Yeah.
Now if you place this, this logo. Ta-da! See how it fits. Alright?
Mm.
Does it make sense for you to have this, or you want to have like another sort of a body? Yeah? Pick a color from here. Darker. Example. You see now? Yes? No?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. So you can do like that. So is it? It's readable. So here is fine. Maybe it's not fine for on print. Yeah. So this is just an example of what you can do and how you can
Mm.
adjust things. So straight cat, make it smaller, cuter, sort of. Okay.
Mm.
Right. Let's look at also. You have to consider about printing on what they call. Uh, on print and any format, you know what I meant by on print, right? Yes, no?
Mm.
Yeah?
Mm.
On your
Mm.
shirt, on the cup, merchandising, and so on and so forth. Okay, okay?
Mm.
So this is what you can play with logo.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay.
Any questions?
No.
You get the idea, right? What
Yeah.
we are trying to do. So it's
Yeah.
not too cluttered, easy to read. You don't want to have, the readability to go like haywire, right?
Yeah.
So either it's going, from top to bottom. So you look at the hierarchy and so on and so forth. Okay?
Mm. Okay.
Yep, that's it. On, I'll share this. I'll save this and I'll share this as a feedback on our Google Classroom. Okay?
Okay. Thank
You
you.
guys can refer to. Right? So any questions on this? So clear?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is too
Mm.
cluttered. So just make sure it is. If you want to use this kind of, uh, border, yes, you can go ahead. Hey, okay.
Mm.
Just took picture of it. I was okay. So yeah. So here you can write in, to be altered and should be re
Readability.
this clear and not clear, not too cluttered. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
And yeah, here not too cluttered and unique. Right? Unique means you do not. Unique means you not need to overwhelm the logo with multiple icons also. Okay?
Mm. Yeah.
So
Okay.
it needs to be clear, easy. Make sure to also test on screen, print, apps, etc. Merchandise, etc. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay? So that's what the feed is going to be. Can I?
Yeah.
So let me move on. So what is this? Look and feel.
Yes. From Joe.
Right. So these are all the references that you are looking at, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't it? So can you give a mock? How to add to give a mock setup of level look and feel based on your reference. Can?
Yeah.
Okay. So color changes file is fine, alright, but you're just showing color changes. But what I meant by mock setup means this is mock means you are altering the entire, you know, environment So if you're emphasizing on environment, then it's environment, environment icons, icons, and character. Right. Okay. Ken,
Yes.
you're fine.
How do you give a mark, sir?
Sorry, you're very slow, very low. Can you come closer to your mic, please?
Yeah, yeah. How do you give a mark?
How do you give a mock? So practically, you are redoing. You get what I mean? So which means you are. This is to get the color. Okay, your color trials and all that you have already done, right? So you are stating you want it to look like this. Example. Okay, or you're gonna go for this kind of feel. So or this kind of feel, right? So if you want to look at this kind of feel, right? How do you implement it in here? So you change the style of your background, the color, and so on and so forth.
So does that
Practically
mean
you're
I have to
doing the
draw?
level lah.
I have to draw that. We draw everything.
Yeah, can you can do like you copy certain components from here, you paste it, you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
replace the size, okay, whatever that you can pick, anything that is from here perhaps, or you can just draw back and then paste it over. Can
Yeah.
yeah. So you need to give a clear indication of how all this is gelling up together, because it's a reference that you're looking at, right? So reference in terms of, okay, fine, these are the references. If you are going to look at it, should what they call it, should reflect to your direction. Make sense? And the mock is where it's going to show, okay, this is how it's going to look if you put all this together. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then when the artist or whoever is undertaking the environment settings, or the artist who's going to do the artwork, they look at it and say, oh, okay, that's cool. Now I have a clear idea. So the reference is here. What are the things that you have extracted and then applied to the screen? Make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're giving the first look. So this is how it's going to look like in game. Example. Once you alter, it's a lot more, not too fuzzy. You have you know increase the size so it's more readable. All right, the readability, the clarity is there, right? Instead of having two close-up cobblestones or textures like this, so kind of like too linear. You want to break the linearity. How do you do that? Right? Example. Yeah. So you want to exaggerate few things so that it looks cool in here and so on and so forth. A mock first. Okay. Then from there, when you undertake the task of environment design, you show you can kill two birds in one stone. You can do the environment design and put it together. Okay. Ken?
Yeah. Yeah.
Alright. So yeah, you have sore throat, Joe. No worries. No worries. Okay. But you understand, right? So you can type in if it's very bad for you to talk.
Yeah. I can also check the main screen UI.
Screen UI. Where's it? Where's it?
On
Ah, in-game UI. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Game UI. Okay. in-game UI, you have changed. This is what first is you're looking at. Is this the position, the layout? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And you haven't changed or altered the UI design itself. So you're looking at in-game UI layout, for instance. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Unless you want to have like UI design by itself. So this is for in-game UI layout. So here you can have a couple of mocks. So one is in-game like this, and probably one is the loading screen, one is the home screen. Example. Yeah. So
Yep.
perhaps you can pick uh, in-game layout. Yeah. Then any loading screen and home. To mock or to identify. It can be more. Navigation. Um, navigation. Navigation. Yes. Okay. So more on UX lah. UX. Okay. Okay. So screens can be more. Can be more. If you intend to test. Okay. Okay. So the positioning, how it positions, how it interacts, navigation, UX, right? So you're not talking about the design yet. You're talking about the positioning. Does it make sense? Does it direct the players to go about and so on and so forth? So you have the idea, the rough ideas. Okay? You can have more if you want. Okay? Can?
Can. Can.
Okay, cool. So yeah, that's how it goes. Right. So you're clear? So you guys still have to do stuff, right? You still have to, create. It's not like you don't create at all, but you're still doing mocks. So the polish or any adjustments will come after you have already submitted your look and feel art document to your artists and so on and so forth. They will go and pick it up and say, oh, that's cool. Let's do this. You know,
For the look and feel, Eva and I feel really challenged when we were trying to do it. I mean, when we're trying to make a mock for it.
you're feeling very challenged to do it. Okay. Um, in terms of what?
We don't know
The
how to make the mock-up for a look and feel because uh, we don't really draw something like that.
ah. So what you can do is you can do this. Example, let me put this as Okay, what you can do is first is if you have any of these images, like for instance, if you have all your um, see, let's see, let's see. You're playing with boxes at the moment, right? It's all very boxy, right? Okay. First is you're gonna get like where is the box is gonna be, like for instance, based on what you have seen, right? Okay. So you can do it in Illustrator as well, right? Say your screen is something like that, your pathway. Okay. One isometric. Okay. One. You can draw with pen tool, so it doesn't matter. First is to get the position. Example, so do that, and then go for hook. One, two, for building box. Okay. One example. Okay. Say this is your. This is where the whatever the the pillar is going to be, and so on and so forth. Okay. Example. So I can throw some textures to you guys. So you roughly draw. So you do use a pen tool, it will be more nicer and sharper. I'm just going to do quite fast. So this is the pathway. Okay, path. Alright. Okay. Walking path and so on and so forth. Another building here. Push. Okay. One, two, drag it, drag it. Okay. That. So say this is your rough position or whatever, right? So you are just mocking things up first. So this is the street. Okay. Street. Okay. Yeah. Right. And this is street. This is building. And then this is something building as well. Okay. So up to you. So what you can do is once you have already done this, okay, you can I can throw you some textures, or you can just go to Pinterest and find this, right? So look at textures. Okay. So since you're going to go find the one that you look at, alright, so for instance it's hand painted or is it going to be pixelated and so on and so forth. So if you want to have painted, so you look for something like this, right? Do like a pattern. You can do it in AI, or you can just paint it over in Photoshop if you want to. Okay, so look for something similar to the look and feel that you're trying to achieve. Right, say for instance you're doing it here. Right. So this is your pattern. Okay, you have one, take a brush, you got one, two, three, four. This is your cobblestone example. You want to break the pattern. So I'm going to pick this, I'm going to take eraser, erase this part. I'm going to unlock something like this, like a tile set. You can pick from online if you want to. So here, say you have a color. Throw in a color, take a brush, say 60%, slightly bigger. Example. Okay, some little color here. Maybe you wanna have a little darker. Whichever color palette that you have already chosen, darker, and then you wanna have this for brighter. blah blah blah. See, it's already patented like that. Okay. This is example lah. Huh? Say you have already chosen a texture. Okay, so you have finished this. So name it as done. Okay, so what do? You pick this, drag it over, and you can distort it or use perspective. Okay, wrap it up. You got what I mean?
Yeah.
Example. Something like that. Like you're texturing on a plane. Make sense? Okay?
Yeah. Can.
Take this, drag it, drop it, like that. Example. Rotate this wherever you want. And then wrap it up in here. Sort of. I'm giving a mock anyways, right? So doesn't need to be super perfect, but the first look and feel, you guys got it. And see now?
Yeah.
Yeah? And if you have any textures, so you can look for any textures online on Pinterest. Pinterest has a lot. You can do painted textures and so on and so forth. You can pick from there and paste it. Okay? Or you can take these textures. You all want these textures?
Sure.
So I'll put it in our group. So pick any of these textures around here. Say from this guy, drag and drop in. Example, huh? You take this, you can rotate this first and see how it fits, and you can scale it down, blah blah blah. Example. You're not doing concept. Fit it. Like filling in like color book lah. Can?
Yeah. Can.
Right? To show whether if all this is, say you're happy with this, right? So you can just group this, add one more layer, and this is where you go ahead and then add a little clarity. So say you want to have like, the ledge is clear, blah blah blah, right? You want to break some components, maybe you can just paint over, right? Say about 30%. Example. Okay, take this darkness and throw it over. You can see you can do it in Illustrator. This one for to showcase or to show a simple, adjustments and so on and so forth. Here as a reference or as just a demo, I use Photoshop. Can see now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can do this. So if you have building, so you go look for building top. So from here You go ahead
Okay.
and open up, say you like this. So, you know, you can download this, okay, and go in here, throw this in approximately, okay, something like that, and then add in or adjust it a little bit here and there. Make sense?
Yeah. Again, not everything has to be filled, right? Like only some part, just to show what you want to
Best
communicate.
if we can show the whole thing.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
so
Can.
find the base first, clear out. So field means you can do like that. You're also showing how this two is kind of like merging around and so on and so forth. You can see, say if you have like another layer where you can have like the greens example, you want to have some bushes, and the reason why you're showing is you understand how the layout it should look like and so on and so forth. Can you get it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, doesn't need to be perfect, but okay, if it has a picket fence and so on and so forth, this is how it's going to look, or this is how you fill things. So for instance, I want to have like a tree, zero, tree around here, down, 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 like this. So now you fill it. Do the base first, then you add all this. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can.
Okay. So certain parts you don't need to really color lah. Right? But you know already. So from here, this is the look and feel that you're trying to go for, right? So whatever that you have referred to, you pick the information from there, and you paste it,
Mm.
right? Say I saw one that is cool. Say this one, download. Okay. Use the reference to your advantage. Make it big, right? So you can flip this. See that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Example, delete. And so on and so forth. Yeah. Select similar. Bye bye. Clean it up a bit lah, yeah. All this is example, whatever you can pick from here. Use your references. You see now?
Yep. It doesn't have to be completely clean up, right?
Sorry?
It doesn't have to be completely cleaned up, right?
Presentable.
Mm.
right? Don't have it like this lah, right? It's presentable.
Okay.
So if not, it defeats the purpose. There's no point doing the mock, right? Presentable, and it's easy. Let's say you then later when you have this task of creating the assets, how the asset is going to look like and all that. So when that task comes in, you can just refer to this and say, oh, okay, this is how it's going to look like. Da, 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 da. The textures that you're going to apply here, it's going to look like this. It's going to look like this. Blah 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 blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe you just want to pick this from here and copy and paste. Okay.
Can.
Then you just paint over just to make sure it kind of like blends together. That's about it, right? Do a
Okay.
mock first. Is when you're doing a mock, it doesn't need to be super perfect, but it's presentable. Then when you're undertaking this task, like for instance when you're looking at you know the environment, right? So environment change. So what do you mean by environment change? So what you can do is you do one that is close to what you have shown, something like this, one side, clean one. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can I? If you are having hard time to color, right? Use boxes first, big boxes first, right? Then paste the components. It doesn't need to be too complex, but you get the first look and feel. It can be, say, about 70% is there. That's more than enough. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Right? So the look and feel, you must capture the look and feel. So you're initiating the project. That's art director's job. You're initiating and you're giving, okay, this is how it's going to look like. How you want to alter, you can alter later on, but I have already set the look and feel, right? So when you refer back, you're going to like, oh, okay, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. I have a clear idea what to do. Okay? You can have it to confined space like this as well, or you can just do this, but not as detailed as this line. You get what I mean? So maybe you can reduce the details. Maybe this is too much for this game. I want to reduce it, so I reduce it up to here. Whatever information that you're getting from here, take it in, right, and then paint over, done. Take it in, paste it, paint over, done. Okay,
What do you mean paint over?
like I just did, right? So here, okay, I don't want this guy. This one is too complex. Okay, I don't want this to be too much like this. I just want it to be clean. So take this, good. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Right? Take this, just paint over, done. This one is too much. Or I can just take, like here, too much fuzziness is going on. Maybe I want to reduce it. So because it's too cluttered, readability out, right? So you don't want to have that. Aesthetically it's beautiful, but it's not functional for the game. Huh? It doesn't fit the game's look and feel and so on and so forth. So what you can do is you can just paint over. Say you want to have just a fruit stall or pick something. Right? Just paint here. Okay. Pick a red color. Minimalize. You don't want it to be too fuzzy. Example. Minimalistic. That's what you meant. Okay?
can.
So it's much more of painting over to get the look and feel. So different already, right?
Mm.
Right? So here you want to maintain the shape first. You want to see the shape instead of not too much is going on. I just want to make sure I see the structure, building structure. Okay, example. Boom, boom, done. Okay, maybe this can be like a pillar. Maybe into a door, something like that. Like this, paint over. Can? No need too much of texture. Reduce the amount of unnecessary things that is going on. Because you're not going to see, it's going to be super busy. You're just changing things, altering things. Like for instance, I want to change this. I want to make it slightly bigger, exaggerate perhaps. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like this, that.
Yeah.
Example. 1, 2. This one can be done, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you simplify things. Mirror around here. Clothing. Okay.
Yep.
Any questions? Alright.
Not from me.
So if you want to go for cleanliness like this, then you go for cleanliness like this. Alright. Of course, you may struggle to paint, or if you're not a concept artist, you may struggle a little bit. But then again, you still have to have a mock-up, right? Same goes when you're undertaking any other projects from any other creative industries that you're working with. It's going to be the same. You're going to do a mock-up, make sure that everything is, it's well defined and clear for you to take this information and add on to your what they call, to your art direction doc. Okay, can
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
is it too difficult? Is it too difficult, guys?
I'll try that. Yeah.
Try. Yeah. So I'm not expecting you to get perfect look and feel, like concept. I'm not going to evaluate you on just the concept, how beautiful you draw and so on and so forth. It's not just that. I want you to convey the message. You must be able to convey the message to the what they call, the artist, to undertake the project according to your direction. Make sense? So if I put a character here, right? So if this is the character, it needs to play, it needs to be clear. I can identify the character. It's easier for me to just play around. So here you can always determine what kind of camera angle that you're looking at. You can do half of this, say, up to here. You know what I mean? Right? So this will be the, work smart lah. This will be the detailed area. This can be this silhouettes, rooftop. Correct? Just the
Wait,
part.
for the
Sorry?
non-important part, can I make just silhouettes?
Why can't you fill it up? You get what I mean? Fill it up.
Okay.
Just fill it up, because this is roof, right? You're not going to see much, right? So just put like a silhouette and then less details, right? Because the focus is going to be here. This is what you're going to show. So simple stuff like this. Set it up. How does it look from the rooftop? Right. So you don't need to go and do the ventilation and so on and so forth. But rooftop, as long as it's kind of like sinks or a different roof, you just add, you know, roof something like that, with, you know, colors and so on. Done. You can copy this, paste it over here. Done. You're also looking at how you want to arrange things together. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Copy this and paste it here. That's all. Can I?
Yeah. Can.
Okay. So that's what you're doing. Adding this is not, you are doing all these adjustments. This one adding is this is a small matter, right? Can I? You try. Give it a go and see how it goes. I'm not asking you to do the ventilation here. You know, this is the aircon condition, and then you have like, you know, drying clothes around here. Don't need to add that, nah. Okay, because you guys are not a concept artist, but you have the idea of how the whole thing plays, or the composition in the scene is clear. Make sense?
Yep.
Yeah? So that's what you want to do. That's your aim. Okay? Pretty clear?
Clear.
This is the mock. Then just place your, for your UI for placement on this, you can just take, you know, one simple color, just throw one color here. Okay, this is the health. This is where something is going to come in, something is going to come in here. Alright? So, yeah. Health, your pick up items. Can?
Yeah.
Right? So use the information that you get from the references that you have, put it together and kind of like paint over. Paint over, just, you know, change it to your style. Okay?
Mm.
Because you can't take apple to apple, right? It doesn't make sense. Then it becomes, you know, not your work. Okay? Right. This is how it's supposed to look like. Okay?
Yeah.
Right. First and foremost, get the layout with simple lines and use in after Illustrator and so on. Okay. After that, fill in the blanks with the references that you have, paint over it, and done. And adjust it with the color corrections that you want to have, your color palette and all that. Use a hue global colors, you know. You can add like a, you know, hue and saturation, change the hue, different vibes, how vibrant you want it to be, and so on and so forth. Example. Okay, give it a go and let's see how it goes. Can?
Can.
Right? So that's that for today. Any questions before we end?
Um, even though I don't want to change the street, I still have to put the same street, right?
I can't hear you, Joe. What do you mean? Hello?
Oh yeah. It's okay. Good. Good.
No, no, you can type it because you were asking a question. I just couldn't hear you. It's too, you sound very far away. Joe? Joe?
Yeah. I'm good. It's okay.
You're good, huh?
Yeah.
Alright. So this is how and what we're supposed to get at the end, right? So you need 70% first, or you know, if you get 50%, the look and feel. The mock is normally about 50% is enough already. Then you go on to polish it later. You understand?
Yep.
Yeah. So don't get beaten up too much, right? Though you struggle for now, right? But I believe that a little practice, right? You will find, oh, okay, this is cool. I get a rough idea. Right? This is how I undertake a project, to art direct a project. Yeah.
Yep.
Again, I'll stress back again. We understand that if you're not from, concept, if you don't do concept art, you're not a concept artist. We know how to evaluate your work. It's not that I'm going to look at the art and say, hey, this art is, you know, you're not doing a background design, you're doing art direction. So you have to be able to direct the concept artist to take that vision of yours and apply it to the art that is needed for the game. Make sense?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the whole goal, right? Can I?
Can.
So yes, that's about it, guys.